What a week, what a week. If you're just joining us for the first time, I do these every Friday from a back room. Again, my name is Gary Bailey. Today, this is what I want to talk about. This is the second part of my wholesale training, and I want to talk about what I refer to as my flywheel of wholesaling. And it creates a system where you've got properties coming in, you've got buyers that are interested in your properties, and then once the properties come in and the buyers come in, it creates a literal flywheel where the momentum from your properties and the interest from your buyers, even those that don't buy, will create the momentum for the next property that comes in. So you think of it as like you're feeding properties just into this wheel, and out the other side of it comes money. And the way that you do that is a couple different ways. Number one, you have to make sure that your houses are priced with your customers' goals in mind. If you're getting into wholesaling just to make a bunch of money and rip people's heads off and try to just squeeze every last dollar out of the deal, then unfortunately you're not going to be in business for very long. The way that you stay in business for decades, the way that we have, is by building up a repeat base of customers who continue to buy properties from you because they're going to trust you. If they don't trust you, then what will happen is they just have to rely solely on the price and the features of the house. And if you're doing like virtual wholesaling, or you've not really done your homework and you can't stand by all of your numbers, then you're gonna have a very short career at wholesaling. So here's the flywheel. And this is something that we've just kind of developed over the years that just naturally is a good flow for your properties and good flow for your sales. When I put a property out, once I get it under contract, these are the steps that I take. I have my inner circle of customers. So I have my existing customers, and for my business, I have really about 20 customers, and each one of them buys 2 to 3 houses per year from my wholesaling business. So that right there, right out of the gate, is 40 to 50 houses that we can sell to our repeat buyers. That's our core group. Now, not all of your core group buyers are going to be ready at the same time. Or maybe they're short on capital, maybe they're in a bunch of jobs. Because if you keep feeding them with jobs, they're not gonna be able to keep buying houses all the time. So you need to also have fresh buyers coming into your pipeline as well. So you've got fresh people coming in, again, leading with value, demonstrating value, building that relationship with them. Last week I talked about what to say to a buyer on the phone, a potential buyer that you want to bring into your wholesaling business and bring into your funnel. And there are a number of questions that I asked. I'll boil it down real quick. You can watch the training from last week if you want the full breakdown, but it comes down to this. You want to find out what their experience level is. And typically, if you want to build up a good customer base, you're going to want to work with people that are doing multiple houses per year. It's just me. I tend to avoid working with brand new investors because it's just a little different of an animal. So I try to work with the repeat buyers. I look for people that are doing multiple houses per year. You want people that are responsive. That means they're easy to get a hold of. They'll return your text. They'll answer your phone. They'll go out and look at a property. You want to work with people as well that have control of their own financing. So even if they're even if they're using like a hard money loan, if they're in control of that and it's a reliable funding source, then that's fine too. That's good as well. So those are the main things that you want to look for with your buyers. And those are the questions you want to ask them. And then finally, you want to find out what their goals are. Like, what areas are they looking for? Are they open to certain, specific areas of your city? And then the last thing is, what strategy are they looking for? Are they looking for fix and flip? Are they looking for buy and hold? Because not every house that you get is going to fit with every strategy. And if you've got an investor that's come to you that says, hey, I want this type of property for this type of strategy, and you start sending them something that doesn't fit with that, they're going to just stop listening to you. They're going to, this guy's wasting my time. He's not listening to what I'm saying. So you want to make sure that you're aligning your interests and your properties with what your customers want, and that's going to help create that flywheel. Well, here's the actual flywheel, and this is the actual steps that I take when I put a property out for wholesale, and this works almost every single time. This week alone, we sold 2 houses. We bought 3. The one that we sold yesterday or 2 days ago, it sold in 1 hour. We put the property out, it sold in 1 hour, and man, it was unbelievable. The feeding frenzy on this thing. We ended up getting it for $85,000. We put it out to our investors at $125,000. It sold in 1 hour. I had people offering more money. They wanted to buy the person out. They wanted to pay me extra to make them go away. I mean, it was just crazy. So we put another property out this morning. We'll see if that sells. And then we had another property that sold earlier in the week. So it's been a very, very, very busy week. It's been very exciting. Total wholesale volume generated this week is over $50,000. I think we're right at 62.5 is the official count for just this week. This has always just been a monster time of year for us. So the way that it works is this. I get a property, I put it out to my inner circle of customers. It might be like 10, 20 people. I'll send a text message out, usually the day before that I'm putting the email out. Now, this is the trap that I've fallen into is if I have people that are close to the property, meaning they're pretty interested, I think they're probably gonna sign, even if it's somebody that I feel really good about, I don't ever wanna like let my guard down, but I don't want to like just assume that that's a sale. I don't want to just assume, okay, they're going to buy the house, the property sold, and then I kind of take my foot off the gas pedal because they feel like if they get a little too lackadaisical too about it, where they're like, well, I don't, maybe I'll take my time, and then it ends up dragging out, and that's when weird things happen. That's when they end up not buying the property, or that's when something falls through, something shifts, a tree falls on the house, whatever it is. So I want to make sure that I'm helping them along, maintain their momentum as well, not like twist their arm and not force them, but I just want to like let them know, hey, look, these things go quick. Let's get moving. We don't have a lot of time. So I do that by putting the property out to my inner circle on a text message the day before. Then what I do when I put the property out, I create a landing page for it, and I'll try to share some screenshots of that here on this video when we edit it out. So you can see the type of landing page that we use. And it's something that we built ourselves. It has the price at the top, the area. It has videos, preferably walkthrough videos. It has photos of the property. And then I also want to include at least 2 or 3 comparable sales with the address and the photos of the comparable sales. Now, is that a lot of information? Yes. Does it take a lot of time? Yes. Do you make a lot of money on a wholesale deal? Hopefully, right? You should make a minimum of $15,000. If you are going to work with somebody that you expect them to pay hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, whether it's financing or cash, doesn't it make sense that they want to feel like you have done your homework and you're not just blasting a property out, here it is, hopefully you like it, you just send them a Google Drive, you're not spending any of your time, with the pictures of the comps or anything, right? They want to know that, hey, look, I take your business as seriously as you do. I want you to be successful. At the end of the day, they're the ones taking the risk. And if you don't do your homework on the front end as the wholesaler to make sure that you have your comparables lined up, you have the rehab breakdown if they need it, and you've done a full analysis on the property from their standpoint, not your standpoint, their standpoint. And there's a spreadsheet that I use. I went over actually 2 weeks ago. I posted a video called Pro versus Hobbyist. And I show you my spreadsheet that I use, my deal analysis spreadsheet, where I break down individually what the property needs. If somebody's going to buy this as a flip, what would their margin be based on how long the rehab's going to take, how much work it needs, and what the resale value is going to be of that property. And that's how I base everything. So I know that my wholesale fee needs to be a certain amount, but if it can't get to that point because the investor's margin isn't going to be as good, then I'm going to have to shrink that down a little bit. Because at the end of the day, the investor and the flipper or the buy and hold person is the one that's taking the risk. They're going to be holding it long term. You're just going to be holding it for a couple minutes or not at all to collect your wholesale fee. So they need to know that you have their best interests at heart and you're interested in repeat business. And you tell them, hey, look, at the end of the day, it's your money. You're the one taking the risk. If you don't make any money on that house, you're not going to come back and buy another house from me. I'm gonna have to go find more customers, and I don't want to do that. So that is the overall philosophy that we have with this flywheel. So we send the text message out to our core investors. We put together our landing page so it looks very professional. It's got all the information on there. The one thing that we do not put on the landing page, we do not put the address. And this is where a lot of wholesalers mess up. They put the address straight out there. And I know people get frustrated, oh, why isn't the address on there? Look, there's a lot of reasons why that is when you get into wholesaling in different areas and laws and all kinds of stuff, but we just do not put the address on there. What we have is a form, basically a response form, and we keep it short. We just ask for their first name, phone number, email address. And so when they click on the link in the email to get information about the property or they go to the landing page, they can just fill that form out and the form will text them the address of the property. The reason why we do that, and this is We shifted to doing it this way about 4 years ago, and it completely transformed our business. Completely transformed our business. Before, we were basically just like blasting it out. Here's the address, here's this. And it's kind of like when maybe you post something on Facebook or like Facebook Marketplace, and you get like all these people that are like DMing you asking, oh yeah, I'm interested. Are they really interested? Because what we want to do, this isn't, I'm not just playing like house or just pretending to play wholesaler. I want to only deal with the most qualified people. So I want to introduce as much friction as I can into the process. Not too much friction, but enough friction so that I know, okay, if this person's really serious, they're gonna fill out a form. I've spent a lot of time putting this landing page together. Here are my comps. I'm presenting all this information to you. So in exchange, if you want the address on the house, you've got to put in your first name, email address, phone number, and it'll text you the address right away. That simple. That also allows me to track everything in my Slack channel, and I use Slack I have a channel for each property. I tie it to Slack so that when they request the information on a property, it comes into my Slack channel and it sends me a text, it sends them a text. So I can see, okay, here it is. And then what the text says is, here's the address. If you're interested in checking it out or you want to set up a showing, reply yes to this text message with your first name. Easy, right? Again, I'm introducing a little bit of friction. So I'm saying, click on my landing page, go to the landing page, look at the videos. I've got a walkthrough video, and most times I've got comps, I've got photos, everything they need to make an informed decision about whether or not they want to go see that house. And this is where I see a lot of people just kind of like phone it in, where, especially with the photos, like make sure that you're doing the photos the right way so that the customer can see a clear picture of what the property is going to look like and what the property looks like. Because that's what they're going to use to make the determination most of the time is really from those pictures and what it looks like. Oh, and also your price needs to make sense. So you want to show them how you're arriving at that number. And that's why you show them your comparable sales on there as well. I also like to put the rent on there. Now renting has been tricky because interest rates are so much higher now, but I always put the rent on there. If you use this website called DealCheck, it's dealcheck.io. You can pay for it, or they let you put like 10 properties in there for free. But you load properties in there, and it'll pull in the rent estimate from RentCast, which is their sister company, which is a paid service you can use to get the rent amount for the property as well. So that's what I use. I use DealCheck for that. It gives me the rent number. I put it on there. That way I can tell them, hey, this is where I got the rent number from. I didn't just pull it out of my nose. So that's the flywheel. Text message to the inner circle customers, email to everybody the next day, even if I've got somebody interested. I'm tracking all the property requests. I'm tracking who requested information on the property. I'm following up with them on text. If I don't know them, I'm giving them a phone call. And if I don't know them, I'm having that same conversation that I talked about last week, where I'm finding out how long you've been doing this. Because I don't want to have a situation where, especially if it's somebody that I don't know, they text me, they're interested in the property, they text me their name back, so I know that, okay, they responded, they're not just, looky-loos, and I'm going to physically call them. That's when I'm going to have that conversation that I talked about last week. That's what I'm going to find. I'm not just going to call them up and be like, oh yeah, do you like the house? What do you want to see it? It's this and this and this. It's not about the house. That's your opportunity to connect with your buyers and create that relationship with them and find out a little more about what's going on in their business. Now, obviously, if it's a buyer that you work with a lot and you know them, then that's, you're going to give them the information on the house. But if it's somebody that you've never worked with and just on your buyers list and you're trying to qualify them, that's the conversation you need to have. That conversation, if you'll notice, says very, very little about the house, and actually really nothing at all. It's really asking them about their business, their goals, what they're trying to accomplish, what their criteria is, what their time frame is, and all that to qualify them for your pipeline. Then you'll go and see the house. The thing is, the houses, yeah, they're there to make money for your wholesale business, obviously, but they serve as like its own magnet to bring people into your flywheel. Because that house can only be bought by one person, right? Like more than one person can't buy the house. So there's going to be people that missed out on that deal. So what do I have? I've got all those people that inquired about the property. I know that the people that inquired about it to at least get the address are pretty serious. So the funnel's like this, right? Email goes out to, I've got 800 people on my email list locally. You got the people that responded to the email, that clicked on it, that went to the landing page. Those are less qualified. Then you've got the people that went to the landing page, requested the address. You'll get a lot of those. Then you've got the people that replied back that said, yes, I do want to see the house. That's your really, really good group. And then you've got the people that actually went and looked at the property. So when they reply back, you're going to call them, you're going to have a conversation with them, qualify them, with the questions. And then you're going to have the person that bought the house. And that's going to be one person. But you're left with that second level of people, the people that were interested in the house. They went through all your little hoops or whatever. They responded to the text message. Some of them are going to be mad if they didn't get the property, right? And then those are the people you're going to have the conversations with. You're going to say, hey, listen, I get a lot of properties. So, sorry you didn't get this. Sorry when this one didn't work out. Would you like me to hold it as a backup offer? Whatever. Or I get a lot of properties. Are you looking for anything else? And then you give them the scoop on the other houses that you have. Maybe you're close on something. Maybe you just got an offer accepted on a property that you haven't put out yet, and you're priming the pump. That doesn't mean you stop all your marketing for your next house. You still go forward with your marketing. You still run the play. Text message to the people your inner circle people that you previewed the property on. Then you're sending the email about that property. Then you're sending the text message about that one. Then you're responding to those people. So it becomes a flywheel. So every time you put a property out, when it sells, you should have 5 or 6 people that are really serious and they're ready to go. And with the phone conversations, because you had the phone conversations, and it wasn't just like a text message exchange back with them, they know you, they trust you. And then here's the final piece that I do. And this only works once you get really, really good and your houses are just like going. The final piece that I do is this. I put an email out when the property sells. And people are usually pretty surprised at how quickly these go, because a lot of my houses sell, almost every house sells the first day. Some of them sell like the first hour. And so as soon as that goes out, I change my form on my landing page so that when they submit to get the address, if they're running a little bit later than everybody else, instead of texting the address, it'll text them, oh, hey, really sorry, that property sold. So then again, I can see that they requested information. I'm still going to call them up. I'm still going to have the conversation. Hey, Jim, sorry that, the property sold. It went really, really quick. My houses go fast. Are you looking for anything else right now? Yeah. Okay, well, listen, I haven't told anybody else about this yet, but I just picked up this other house that's over in this area over here. Is that an area that you're interested in? Yeah, sure. And then I'll try to get them out there. So they feel like, you gave them something in exchange. They might have missed out on the house, but you're like, hey, I've got more deals. I've got some stuff coming. And sending the email out when the property sells to me is kind of like my secret sauce, because it really, really drives demand. So you just got to be nice. You got to be empathetic. Like, hey, listen, I'm really sorry. But it's wild to me how much time people can take to go and look at these houses. It's crazy to see it, because I've been doing this for a very long time, and I see it all the time with houses that I put out. You've got buyers that kind of fall into a couple of different categories. Some of the buyers, they're just in no hurry. They just think, oh, it's going to be there for a couple days. And I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense to me. All my houses, when I put them out wholesale, they're first come, first serve. I don't put anybody into highest and best, because I don't like getting put into highest and best if I'm looking at a house. So no bidding wars. It's full price, no inspections, as is, close quickly. Make sure you've got your financing or cash lined up. And then that's it. If you want to negotiate, if you want to offer me less, that's fine. I'll tell you, hey, look, you can offer me less, but just know I got a lot of other people looking at that. I got 700 people on my email list, and you were the third one to see it today. If somebody else comes in with a full price offer, I'm just going to take it. So that's the only time I'll wait and not accept an offer right away, is if somebody wants to offer me a little bit less, or they want to do inspections. Anyway, I want to just wrap this up today with some couple final thoughts. Again, if you're interested in learning more about wholesaling, my whole series of wholesaling training will be posted in my Skool community and on my YouTube channel. It's skool.com/propertymagnet. All my training is free. I don't sell coaching. I don't sell courses or anything like that at all. If you are interested in doing business with me, I sell probate leads. And if you want to do probate, we're rolling out an AI platform for probate leads and probate investing. And guys, this thing is crazy. We've had 150 people so far. We just launched it less than 30 days ago. About 150 people sign up for their area and for their counties. So we were rolling this out as quickly as we can. We've got Nashville online now, all of Missouri, so St. Louis, the side of Kansas City, that's in the Missouri side, Indianapolis. We're rolling out the rest of Tennessee. Massachusetts is next, Pennsylvania, Cleveland. So it's just blowing up. It's just been really, really exciting, and really exciting to help people that want to get started with, investing in probate and investing in real estate, getting them set up with what I believe is the best source. And if you're interested in that, you can go to homeflip.ai. You can claim your county, set up a time to have a call, have a conversation with me. We'll look at the probate leads in your area, see what kind of deal flow there is, and then we'll put together a pricing package that fits within your budget, because you don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars on some expensive coaching program and all that stuff. Like, it can be affordable, it can be reasonably priced, because let's all make money long-term, let's have long-term business relationships, and let's win together. All right, guys, that's all the time I have for today. I got to get on with my day. You guys got to get on with your day as well. Check out this video online if you're not able to join us live, and we will see you out there. Have a great day.